Writing or speaking about an illumined soul is almost impossible. It's very difficult. Why? Obviously, these illumined souls, their lives are internal. And in this subjective, you can say, world, hardly anyone can enter there. We all have a subjective world. But these people, these great souls, these illumined souls, they are the one who actually write history. At least in India, that was true. History is of three orders. First is the kings and emperors and civilizations have risen and fallen and people have migrated from here and there. That's the external history written by the victor. And we all are acquainted with this history, more or less. There's another history, the history of the race. Your mental life is part of that collective life, the collective intelligence, the collective, you can say, education, the collective dreams. That is another history that we script. There's a third history. That's the spiritual history. And it has been found. These are the spiritual heroes, the illumined souls, who script a history with their own souls on the oversoul, on the world of the spirit. And Swami Vivekananda is very clear that every time there was some problem in society, in the East, especially in the East, and also of course in the West, they have risen great souls and they have transformed society. In India, we don't have social reformers or intellectual reformers or anything. We have reformers, the best reformers, and they are the spiritual reformers, these saints. And here we have Swami Brahmananda. Now, how do you compare Swami Brahmananda with and his internal life with anything? It's very difficult, but we need a reference point to understand his inner life. Amongst the 16 disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, 6 were called the Ishvara Koti. These disciples of Sri Ramakrishna they were all knowers of Brahman and they were great souls. They came for a special mission. And amongst them, 6 were special. It's not only monastic, but also lay devotees also, if you include them. We have Rakal Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda, and we have Swami Vivekananda, and we have Niranjanananda, we have Swami Yogananda, and we have Purna Chandra Ghosh, Premananda. We have Premananda. So 6 of them. These were God-like, ever-free souls. They are not born like us. They always come with an incarnation of God. Now, amongst these 6, it was very clear who was the best. And it was Vivekananda and Brahmananda. Amongst the 6, then we have 2 exceptionally, you can say, pure, great souls. So here we have a kind of a reference point. We have to look at Swami Brahmananda's life through the life, a little, through Vivekananda's life. But of course, there are 2 or 3 references. When we look at these categorizations we find in the Shastras also, in the scriptures. We have something called the knowers of Brahman, Brahmavid. These are the great souls, the rare souls. They come and transform the world and humanity. Knowers of Brahman, Brahmavid. When the Shastras say there are some special, even special ones, they are called the Brahmavid Varyan. The best knowers of Brahman. And they further categorize it and say there is something called Brahmavid Varishta. That is the superior knowers of Brahman. And we have Swami Brahmananda in this category. He is the superior knower of Brahman. And Sarvadevanji is saying that his life was an intense internal life. We have Swami Vivekananda preaching Vedanta. He came to America, he preached Vedanta. But this Vedanta, to be made practical, needed a different type of, you can say, spirituality, as they say, or a mind. One who would put all these theories into practice. And this was where we find the life of Swami Brahmananda extremely relevant. We've got to take both these souls together. When Swami Vivekananda returned from the West, he returned to Calcutta, and there was Swami Brahmananda waiting for him. And Swami Vivekananda, he who had won over the West through his Vedantic lectures, he makes pranams and he says, Guruvat Guru Putreshu. That is, the Guru, that is Sri Ramakrishna. Like Sri Ramakrishna, that is the Son. So he is worthy of receiving salutations. And immediately Raja Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda, he again salutes Swami Vivekananda, saying, Jeshta Brata Pita Samapita. That the eldest son is equal to the father, as good as a father. So these people, both of them, they knew each other. Here we have Swami Turiyananda saying, when I used to see Swami Brahmananda walking from behind, it appeared as if it was Sri Ramakrishna. Once, Swami Shivananda, there was a slight difference of opinion, and Swami Prabhavananda, he accused Swami Shivananda, oh, you are now becoming like a yes man to him, to Swami Brahmananda. So, yeah, and so Shivananda said, my boy, you see externally Swami Brahmananda. We see him inside and see there's only God. And that's why whatever comes from him comes from God. Sarvadevanji is talking about any spiritual aspirant coming for any problems to be solved. Oh, come tomorrow, come day after tomorrow. Today my brain is dull. My stomach is bad. I'm not in the mood. I used to differ. And when Swami P inquired, what is this? So now I get direct instructions from Sri Ramakrishna. And then I say, until and unless I do not get those instructions, I do not tell. I keep deferring you can say the answer and the person also. So here we have a person who is immersed in God. Guruvat Guru Putreshu. As we know, this is the first way we can refer him to certain things about his life. Sri Ramakrishna, one day, he used to pray, and he used to pray to the Divine Mother always, saying, I want a boy who's so pure, who could be a kind of a friend to me. I could share all my feelings. So one day, Sri Ramakrishna saw that the Divine Mother Kali, she placed a child in his lap. This is your son. And he got up with a start. Huh? Mother, I'm a monk. So this is not your child in the ordinary sense. This is your spiritual son. And that was the vision. Here, Sri Ramakrishna is gearing himself up to meet his spiritual son. And he's seen another vision of a young boy under a banyan tree. He recognized him. And then just before Swami Brahmananda could arrive by boat, Sri Ramakrishna saw a 1,000-petal lotus. Beautiful, each petal so beautiful. And on it, 2 young boys are dancing with their anklets on. It's a beautiful dance. And Sri Ramakrishna goes into ecstasy. One boy was Sri Krishna and another was Rakha. There. He was, in his previous incarnation, the playmate of the Lord Sri Krishna. And when the boat docked, they came out, this is the boy. And he just couldn't contain himself. Obviously, what happens is, a guru, when he sees a fit disciple, he wants to give everything. But he was bitten once by Swami Vivekananda. He went and touched Vivekananda, and Vivekananda goes into samadhi. He says, what are you doing? I've got my father and I've got my parents at home. Oh, later on, let it be. And Sri Ramakrishna joked about it later on. So here he was cautious. Let's look at this. But he was sure, and this is where the journey begins. Holy Mother one day was preparing herself to distribute clothes. And all the monks were getting clothes, ordinary clothes, made of cotton or linen or something like that. And one was special, made of silk. So the disciple, for whom is that? That's for Rakal. Oh, I see. It's something special. No, Rakal is my son. Here we are. And this was the relationship that Rakal had with Sri Ramakrishna, with Holy Mother, and all the direct disciples. We could go on and on and on. This is the first reference point if we need to study our lives. Their greatness. These were not just ordinary souls. The second reference we could look at is, if I get a realization of, you get some realization, we better go and check the scriptures. And there are scriptures, and there are scriptures. You better check whether your realization matches what is written there. And if it isn't, then there's something wrong with your realization, not with the book. And here we see that the life of an illumined soul has to conform to what the scripture says. Simple as that. Ridikalayati vidvan, Brahma Purnam Samadho. There were some great passages in the Vivek Chudamani or in the Upanishads. And when looked at through the life of Swami Brahmananda, these passages become living. The wise one who knows in his depth of samadhi, in the depths of his samadhi, he discovers in his own life the whole universe, the Brahman. And over again, we know that he had the realization of Brahman at the banks of the Omkareshwar. There's a temple a very ancient temple. And for 6 days and nights, he was constantly in that state. In fact, Vivekananda did not want to leave him first from the Baranagar Mutt, saying that, no, I can't leave you. You are too precious for us. But he prevailed. And Vivekananda said, okay, Khokamara, Swami Subodhananda will go to look after your needs. And they both went to Benares. From Benares, they went to Omkareshwar. And there, he practiced austerities. And later on, we see people asking him, saints asking, why do you need to practice so hard? Sri Ramakrishna has given you everything. Obviously, he did. But to make that your own, that's the second stage of spiritual practices. What you receive from the Guru, Holy Mother's life, Sri Ramakrishna's life, you see, whatever was there, I gave it at the time of initiation. Now, if you want peace of mind, you practice a little japa. There you are. So, you want to practice a little japa, meditation. But in our case, we want a little peace of mind. But in the case of Swami Brahmananda, he practiced spiritual disciplines for all of us. Sarvadevan just mentioned that the young boy wants to go to the Himalayas to practice austerities. Why do you want to do that? We have done all this for you. And here you have a large heart. A heart, he knows that in the future, people like us will be coming. I have to take care of them. So I'll keep everything ready for them. Okay, come, take your prasad. And there you are. This is the second. In the case of Raja Maharaj, the scriptures authenticate his life experiences, and his life authenticates the scriptures. Every age, the scriptures need to be refreshed, re-authenticated, re-demonstrated. And these are the people. We are not talking something irrational or abstract or something difficult. Here we have a person. So, both the scriptures and these illumined souls, they conform to a kind of a higher reality. They both need each other. The third reference point is inspiration. Oh, if anyone reads Swami Brahmananda's book and says, does God exist? I'll say, you never read the book at all. Something inside you flashes. All those doubts are simply cut on it. Vidyate hridaya granthi. All those doubts go away. He speaks about God. He speaks about the goal of life. He speaks about spiritual practice, how it can be made easy. Love God. All these spiritual practices are nothing but leading us to love God. If you can love God, there you don't need to be austere or to be great. You can say tyagi, renunciant. This is the life of inspiration. This is a person, an illumined soul may be there, but does his or her life stand as a beacon for generations and generations and generations? Yes. And you will see, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. His life and times, his life will inspire thousands and thousands of millions and millions for thousands of years. We may think, oh, this is kind of a joke. Yeah, it's not a joke, but it is there. That inspiration is there because he himself realized these truths, and these truths are embedded in what he says and, of course, in what he does. Like that boy sitting behind the chair and trying to think of dirty things and then saying couldn't succeed. There you are. He simply lifts your mind up. He simply lifts the lives up. And the last, as we know, is the biological, the autobiographical life of his. He was born in 1893, January 21st, at Shikrakulingram, where Swamiji was there for quite a few years in Shikrakulingram. It's a beautiful locality outside Calcutta, and you still feel that spiritual vibrations there. When a great soul is born, that place becomes a place of pilgrimage. People are drawn to them. And these are higher spiritual laws that draw. If tomorrow we stop doing all spiritual practices here, there will be no seeker coming to us. Simple as that. Because the life current, the spiritual current has become different. So people like Swami Brahmananda, when they arrive on this earth, they leave such an impact, such a huge crater, as they say. Sometimes it takes thousands of years and satellites to see, oh, that's a crater. Oh, yeah, that's an impact crater. And that was a kind of a huge, you can say, meteorite. Oh, I see. Exactly, this is what happens. And he comes and slams down there. Not exactly in a destructive way, but the spiritual impact, the spiritual wave he raises will keep on going on and on and on and on. And he, as we know, Swami Brahmananda was part of that divine play. He came very early in touch with Swami Vivekananda, in the same school, in the same gymnasium, in the same Brahmo Samaj, with the same guru. Once, I think I usually talk about this. One day, Swami Vivekananda's disciple, Sharat Chandra, was pressing Swami Vivekananda's feet, massaging. So he's saying, you're a fool. You go and call Raja. That is Swami Brahmananda. Raja was like, Raja, you look at these, no strength in them. Why don't you massage me? And Raja Maharaj was very happy. And he kept on, he sweated. For 1 hour, he kept on massaging Swami Vivekananda. And Swami Vivekananda fell asleep. Nicely. Sharat Chandra is saying, what happened? But how come you're the president of this order? How come you're going and massaging? Oh, you don't know. Today I had great joy. I massaged the Lord Shiva himself. Here we are. And this is what they had in common. That great friendship. Even after Vivekananda passes away, of course his grief was terrible. But he immediately shouldered the responsibilities. He knew that if he would show any weakness, there the whole Ramakrishna order would have simply collapsed. He rose to the occasion. And after years, we find he had a small bundle. And with all the ritual purity and he sprinkled Ganga water and close the door and open that cloth, knotted cloth, and a few articles were there. He used to reverentially touch all these things and then again tie it up and keep it in his room. No one had access to it. No one could see it. One day the disciple was curious. What is this? So he opened. And what did he find? A small dictionary and a small book. This. And Raja Maharaj returned. He's saying, I opened it. There's nothing there inside. Nothing? It belonged to Vivekananda. Here we are. Even something like a small dictionary that belonged to Vivekananda had become so holy and so precious to him. This was the relationship of these two great souls. So, when a child is born, a spiritual dynamo, a spiritual giant who is going to shake the world, obviously he will exhibit those spiritual traits from the very beginning. There is no doubt. If the child doesn't, the boy or the girl does not do that, there's something wrong with him. And later on there's no later on. These people are brought with a kind of a mission, and they reveal those traits which will make them great in future. He used to sit down just behind a priest and meditate, and sometimes go into deep meditation. His mother, Krishna Kamini, was a devout soul. She passed away when he was only 5 years old. And she used to love relating the life story of Sri Krishna to him. And he grew up with all those. His father, Ananda Mohan, was a rich man, a landlord, as they say. But to all purposes, he was as a kind of worldly man. And he grew up here. He was sent to Calcutta for higher studies, and there everything fell into place. He met Vivekananda, and he met then Ramakrishna, and then the story begins. We commenced with histories of 3 levels. The physical history, the mental history of the race, and the spiritual history. It is this that stays. It is this that changes. It is this that molds both these histories, the mental history and the physical history. So, Swami Vivekananda is very clear. The more you have these spiritual souls, that country is safe. Because their work is just to lift us all up. And today, it's a blessed day that we have been able to participate in this most holy of ceremonies, a long puja and a homa and prasad. We are indeed blessed. Swami Brahmananda had come to do exactly that. And there's no death for such people. Wherever he is mighty pleased. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.